problem within Bunge itself. I asked that because these guys felt unrepresented. And some of your guys were saying, look, we're with you. We say these things. We point out these things. For example, the member for Kiharu is now complaining about how much is actually being borrowed. And he was in charge of a major committee which oversaw a lot of these things. So is it clear to Kenyans that, even within Parliament, there's a bit of difficulty in terms of, getting these recommendations across?
No, I think normally what would happen is that anytime you look at a finance bill as well as a budget, you should be able to look at it from three perspectives. The first perspective is it friendly to Mwananchi? These guys who are seated here. The second perspective is business people, the private sector. These guys who, CPA, these are guys in charge of institutions. To them, profit is a motivating factor. How much profit do I make? For them to make more profit, they need to reduce their costs. One of the items which reduces their costs is taxation. Now, to the government, they have an agenda they are driving, a political agenda, so that they get a re-election. So anytime you are looking at the budget and the finance bill, it's more balancing these three perspectives. So that at the end of the day, because if you have a budget and it's not funded, because there's no finance bill, then it means you'll not be able to deliver on development. You'll not be able to do your roads. You'll not be able to do your health sector. You won't be able to do your education. So politically, that's a very hot potato. And we have seen that is happening because currently, I'm sure these guys, you ask them, those who are in universities, the issue of capitation, the issue of lecturer strikes is there. So if you are to pursue that up to the end of a 5 year, I can tell you Kenya Kwanza regime will be going home on the basis of that. So it's like, as you tax, you must think about you delivering on your manifesto, but not harming the Kenyans. Because the other thing is, the other side of the coin is, if Kenyans, a normal Kenyan, has no money in their pockets, then they are not able to buy goods and services. If they are not able to buy goods and services, this gentleman here cannot produce. Because they produce only when you buy their goods and services. So it's a very delicate thing you need to balance. And that's what I'm saying. Anytime we discuss these things, we need to look both at the budget and the finance bill. That which has been happening, and it's important I say this. Bichege, we have done a lot of shows with him, and I've always challenged them. These guys are taking 3-4 weeks to look at the finance bill. And they have done serious analysis, the three of them. Ask them how much time have they taken to look at the budget proposals. Because what they do, the finance bill, finances the budget proposals. So if you don't look at the proposals, then automatically you might be funding things that don't make sense. Meaning, if you are to fund things that make sense to Kenyans, you can easily do away with the finance bill. I want to give you a very good example. I don't know how many of you looked at the paper today. The Auditor General said for the last 3 years, Kenya has paid 6.7 billion to our development partners there, and people who have given us loans for commitment fee. Commitment fee. That is money which has been launched to Kenya, and we have not withdrawn the money. So, which means if we are using our loans as expected, the 6.7 billion can be reduced from the finance bill without any change. Yeah. Last week you saw the Auditor General, one of the PSs, when he was presenting on the ASLA fund, he said 5 billion of ASLA fund has not been repaid by Kenyans. Yeah. Now the question is, now where money has not been paid back because there's no proper mechanism to collect the money, do you go ahead and give that money again? Now if you look at the ASLA fund this year, there is an additional allocation of about 6 billion. Which means if we said, since you did not use the funds well, we won't give you additional resources, then the 60 billion they're asking for will be a reduction from the finance bill. So I'm saying, I wish these CPA guys would take much more time to look at what is in our budget. Look at the presidency, the office of the president, how much money has been allocated. Do we need to allocate such a money to the presidency? If the answer is no, it means somebody can sit down with a toothpick and say, this is not necessary, this is not necessary. You might be able to save $1 billion from there. You go to another area. So actually this 24 billion, we can easily save it from the expenditure